Welcome to the first episode, the first official episode of the Power Hour. Bruce has helped me pilot this show before. I decided that he's one of my best friends ever, really. He's my brother. He's family. We talk to each other constantly. And I am still going to be doing live streams with just one other panelist on my own channel called MME Buddies or Bench Buddies. But I really like the opportunity to do more content for all of us. And this is multi-streamed on Kingdom of Nerds.
Yep.
So this benefits both of us. More details to come out. Hopefully we'll eventually have an intro and outro. But it's really to talk about the hottest topics right when it's prime time to talk about it during the week. Maybe if we get enough support, we'll try this 2 times a week if we can. And no naps, Max. Give me thumbs up for no naps.
No nap.
I got my afternoon coffee after work.
So if you're watching on my channel, Max's channel, cross streams and like on both channels if you can, and subscribe to both channels.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I would appreciate it both. And Isaac, the biggest movie fan. Hey,
Isaac.
El Necron used the farce. Are you not a fan? We're doing great. We're gonna probably do like an hour to an hour and a half of content here. That's the plan. And then I have to go do yard work at my parents. Mama Bear is here.
Hey, Mama Bear.
Now we can sometimes occasionally have one additional panelist if we'd like, but the main show is me and Bruce. Me and Bruce, 3:30 p.m., probably Tuesdays and Thursdays if we can. Okay. So before we get to Queen Bree, let's talk about, well, we should put this just in case, spoilers for the Acolyte, because there's no avoiding it now. They're like, it's out there. It's out. And I don't think we'll usually do reactions, but I was thinking it might be fun just to look, because Star Wars Theory is relevant. I know some people don't like his takes lately. He's really negative towards Disney Star Wars, but he does say what a lot of people are thinking, It's Star Wars' turn to have Queen Bree. It was boring last night, El Necron. Okay. Well, maybe we'll have you on for next episode of the Power Hour as a guest. We'll see.
Yeah, we'd love to have. We'll have rotating.
I'd like to have Mama Bear, El Necron, Taladia, lots of people on eventually. But this is the first episode. We did the pilot before. This is the first official episode of the Power Hour. I rewatched it with my wife. And I want to watch it again. First off, after seeing episode 3, go back and watch episode 1 and 2 again. A lot more things make sense.
Yes.
It makes the episodes better. And I will say this is some of my favorite Star Wars ever, because it expands. And I'm trying to be careful here too, because it's going to talk about like why I think people are having such an issue with it in the real world. And I grew up very religious, I'm different than I used to be when I grew up. Okay. But when you, no shame to religion.
I grew up very religion until I decided not to go to church anymore.
Okay. But when when you're raised in that, and it's also, generational, families teach you should I say religions can be sort of an echo chamber? Yeah.
Yes,
they are. And when you really start talking to more people and more points of view, and the world has so many points of view and so many different religions,
so many sets.
And I will say, I am not anti-Jedi. So there's some fans in Star Wars like, enough with the Jedi. And I'm not like, I like the Force and this myth thing. And if we can't all agree on Earth about God and what everything means in the afterlife, why would we think a galaxy far, far away is going to know exactly either? Even if there's a prominent religion, the Jedi, that says they know the way, right? Why are we going to, this is where my thinking is going. Why are we thinking that they know the exact way and they know exactly everything about the Force? Or even if it's called the Force, they call it the Force, maybe a different sect or different religion or cult or whatever you want to call it. And I'm not saying all religion's a cult, please. I don't want to get anyone's feelings all upset. I'm saying there's this Star Wars now has different religions, different sects, different cults, or whatever, and they all view things differently, you know? And that's why I think this expands the universe, and I'm excited. Even though I like the Jedi, they make mistakes. And
A lot of mistakes.
I think some viewers, I don't want to impose my thoughts on why they don't like it, but I think a lot of that is they're so stuck in the Jedi point of view, in the dogmatic part of the Jedi, where this really expands. I mean, they've dabbled with this before with the Night Sisters,
The Mortis gods.
yes, yes. So even saying that's not how the Force works, when you say that, you sound like a dogmatic Jedi Council person. When fans say that's not how that works, and that's where I'm like, what? And that's where I want to get to I almost said strange Marvel theories, Star Wars theory. Thank you, hi Doctor Strange. That's why I want to get the Star Wars theory where he's like, that's not how it works. I'm like, you sound like an out of touch Jedi when you say that.
My thing is, it's fictional. It's a fictional fantasy story. They can make the Force work any way they want it to.
Well, I mean, I don't think the Jedi know 100% everything about this power.
And from what I've seen and read, it seems like it's the Jedi's way or no way. You know, their interpretation of the Force is the only route that anyone can take when they were at the height of their power.
Yeah,
you know, it was a authoritative system they had going on. Give me your child, it's special. I'm taking your child. You'll never see your child again. You can't practice Force powers over here. Only we can.
I just think this may hit very close to home for a lot of people, and I'm like even concerned about saying what I'm going to say next. Is like it's sort of like the Jedi. I'll be careful with this. It's sort of like the Jedi.
Have to be careful. We'll
our world.
Apologize later.
Okay, it seems like the Jedi are the accepted religion of the Force in the galaxy.
Yes,
sort of like this world, a very prominent religion is Christians. You know. Or what? I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. And then there's other points of view in the world, and I'm saying that's why they're like, wait a second, I don't want to know about all this other stuff. I don't believe this. This is not how God or the Force or whatever works, and that's why I think this is going to be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people because it makes you question everything, really. It makes you question. It makes you question everything. Whereas I think people in the real world aren't really willing to question or accept different points of view. I'm sorry. That's where the story's taking us. Okay. And I'm not against Christians either. I'm just saying it seems like the accepted religion in this story is the Jedi, right? Do you agree with that? The galaxy, the Republic accepts the Jedi as the true way to handle these people.
It's like every other religion throughout history. Those that will believe it will believe that they are totally good. There's nothing bad going on in their religion, that they're above it all, but in reality they're not. They're just as corruptible as anyone else. And Chris, we can have different opinions and ideals, but when someone says this is not how this works. This is not how this works. The
You
book
sound
said
like a
this. The book
dogmatic
said
Jedi
this.
that's out of touch
You
when
know,
you say that. Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, that's fine. That's your opinion. But do you really think you know everything about the Force or how it works or like how it was described before? Because even the people that described the Force to us in like the prequels, like Qui-Gon or Yoda, they were students of this entity. You know, unless it's the Force talking you to directly or God talking to you directly, how do you know exactly how it works? You know, that's what I'm saying. We were explained to it from the point of view of preachers, basically. So the times that you were taught about the Force of the previous movies, the narratives in those movies, it was delivered by prophets of a religion to a disciple, or they were trying to preach to a young Padawan or something, or you know what I'm saying? So every time you hear about it, it was through that lens, right? So how do we really know? How do we really know?
Jeez, man.
Well, so here I've watched a lot of videos off this after. I want to highlight this from Chris. The other thing that Leslie Headland has gone on the record in interviews as saying is the type of storytelling she is doing is, I forget what the term is, where there's the storytelling is different points of view. It's from Akira Kurosawa, one of his movies, where you get different points of view of the thing. So now you're getting, what's the character's name? Orsa? Or what's the main character's name? Osha. You're getting her point of view now. In episode 4 or 5, you may get May's point of view or Mother's point of view. And I don't know if you're ever going to get 100%. Now, that's something similar they did in The Last Jedi when they showed Kylo's point of view and Luke's point of view.
Yep.
As far as I could tell, based on interviews and supplemental material for the Acolyte, I think we're getting her point of view now, and you may get May's or a different person's point of view later. So, and this also happens in real life. There's two sides to every story, right?
Yeah.
And that, that's not expanded a lot in movie. It happens. They don't always do that though. But if you get a different person point of view and you don't really told what's the true answer, that's very interesting. We may never get like the whole 100% on what happened this night, right?
Yeah, it's been told from the viewpoint of the Jedi since the beginning, and seeing the viewpoint of people that were living under the rule of the Jedi is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're trying to vilify the Jedi. They're just trying to show how arrogant and powerful the Jedi was, that they thought they couldn't be taken down a peg.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they did. We've seen the prequel, we've seen the original trilogy, and eventually it happens throughout history. Eventually religions, people lose faith, they go away, they look at the Catholic Church. They were untouchable for centuries until controversies happened recently. I'm not gonna say what they are, and people had to open their eyes that not everything they believe in is always true what they're told. So seeing the Jedi in a different light, it makes you understand why a lot of people in the galaxies did not like them, and how Jedi treated them.
Well, I do want to say this too, because there's going to be a lot of people that have issues with this that are going to refer to George. This isn't what George intended. George questioned the Jedi faith too. That's how he made the prequels and how Anakin became Darth Vader. He showed the flaws of the Jedi. So there's also it's like poetry, it rhymes, like George said. He has shown that the Jedi have made lots of mistakes. I'm not against the Jedi. I think they try for good. I think their intentions are good, you know. So should we react a little bit to Star Wars Theory just to see? When we react, just so everyone knows, because I know I said I'm not going to be react. I'm focused on content instead of content creators. We are not going to do personal attacks or comment on things that don't matter. We'll go for the argument.
We're just going to criticize this argument and not the person that is giving.
So I think I want to put that differential out there, and sometimes that could be hard to do that, but I think we're up for the task here. And I like on both of our streams. This is the Power Hour, Jeffrey Miller. Hopefully we could do this in the afternoons.
Yeah.
I'm drinking my coffee.
You know, if you guys like this, we'll do this twice a week. You know.
No, El Necron. No, I'm not going to your side either. I'm exploring my options, but I'm not. El Necron would have a force cult for sure. Okay. Let me see what Joe is saying. It was me, Isaac. Me, no good, never been no good. Max is so dumb that he saw a sign that said wet floor, so he what?
What?
All right. Let's get to the I'm through the moon because I've been watching all kind of theory videos on the ending and stuff. I'm loving it. I'm into Star Wars more than ever for a while. Joe, what did you think of the episode? I know you weren't sold on it. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Look at the face. But he's got bitter beer face right away. So this is you don't like beer? I don't know if we could be friends anymore, Chris. I love beer.
Beer.
Okay.
I prefer a nice sweet red wine.
Chris, I'm not trying to rush you or anything, but I really want to watch Wedding Singer again. That's all I'm saying. He found that tape. I've been looking for that tape. It's not easy one to find in the wild. I've been wanting to watch Wedding.
I'm going to a Comic-Con on Saturday, so I'll stop at the thrift stores and up there and
make a video, please.
Yeah, I'll see if whatever VHS tapes they have.
Okay. All right. So here's Theory's face. It's only 5 minutes. This is just cuts from his stream. Okay, so let's react. Let's see if we can see what he's talking about. Let's try to be fair to Star Wars Theory and see if we appreciate his point of view. Okay, here we go.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god. What an abhorrent.
Would you let the video play?
It's so funny. Oh my god. Oh.
I just wanna make a point. Didn't he say he was done with Star Wars?
Star Wars fans aren't done with Star Wars. They say it's dead. They say it's dead every day.
I'm never watching it.
That's the part. No, Star Wars fans. I think they're a little kinky. Bruce,
they like to be abused.
Yes, they do. They do, and they ask for more. And they're kind of
I'm not gonna kink shame anyone.
No, they love it. They're Star Wars fans are in the S&M. They want they love it. They love like, oh my god, they love saying it's dead every day, and they keep coming back for more, begging for it. And they like to watch. They're voyeurs too, they love to watch.
You see what Joe says?
What?
They were claiming that something in episode 3 that was going to destroy Star Wars forever, and it was all BS. It was clickbait.
It's not clickbait. It has for a lot of people. Well, I mean, it made them upset.
Oh, they said, the same people that's saying that were the same people after episode 1 and 2 said they were done with it. They're not watching anymore. But they commenting on episode 3.
Yeah.
This took a weird turn.
Cal says, I haven't even watched Acolyte. I was waiting on that hate. Okay. All right.
Let's get back to Star Wars Theory.
Absolute mockery.
Mockery
of what George Clooney was like.
Judge Clooney. What Judge Clooney have to do with this?
He can't even say
the whole thing was just
that's he's so upset that he can't say the name George Lucas. That's what that was. Unless it was performative to be unless that was intentional, but
yes, it was.
Well, I'm not gonna allude to that. I'm saying there's two possibilities there. He could have just been so upset he couldn't even say George Lucas's name, or he was
I
doing it
thought
as
they were
performing
back hating
to
George
be
Lucas.
more entertaining. But like, I can't even say George's name. There was a lot in the episode, Joe. It expanded the universe. There's really shows to the mainstream more so than like the Clone Wars, because people like the Clone Wars. The Night Sisters were in there, and there's the books and the comics. But for the mainstream, this was the first time that they really pushed that there's other ideas about this thing that some people call the Force. Some people call it threads. Some people call it everything. Just like in real life.
I call it some made up BS.
There are so many
space wizards. Let's go.
There's so many religions out there, and how people view God and everything. Just like that, in the other galaxy, there's people are viewing this and have different theories. He's even called Star Wars theory. You're allowed to have a different theory on how things work.
Like a therapy session, essentially, for Leslie Headland. I mean, this is atrocious.
He's just
How is this writing and directing?
not going to pick him apart, but he is extremely showing his bias there against Leslie Headland.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love her. I don't hate her. I don't care. As long as she does a good story, which I think this is, I remove the art from the artist more consistently than most people on YouTube. I really do. Like,
well, there's some people on the internet would disagree, like I do, because you take sides all the time, Max.
I do not. I do not.
You don't think you do, but
I'm not against Leslie Headland. I'm not for her either. I'm like, whatever.
Saying you see both sides of the argument doesn't mean you don't have a side back. Come on.
It explores canon, Joe, and then it gives a whole different point of view to people that have the point of view of the dogmatic Jedi. To the mainstream, this is more mainstream show than ever before. It really challenges the Jedi views. I think that's why this is a hard pill to swallow. Whatever. Everyone thinks okay.
Allowed how $180 million, twice the budget of the Kenobi show. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Acolyte. The one,
and I will say I would like this better than the Kenobi show so far, even though I like
the sets and the special effects and the costumes are better than the Kenobi show. You can actually see the budget increase.
Yeah, I love it. Oh wow. No, sorry. I have to get used to that. It's on both our channels. You go ahead.
I take sides. Side salad, soup, fries. I prefer a spicy baked potato on mine as my side.
And Mama Bear, if we can have you on next Tuesday or Thursday for the Power Hour, we would love it. I'm sure me and Bruce.
Yeah, we can get her and Necron on the same show. We can do
then that's 4.
Yeah, but
okay,
four is the limit. How's that?
Okay, it's up to you. All right, it's up to you. Okay, let me see. All right, let's hear what else he has to say here.
Argument that anyone can make, and I've already gone 10 steps ahead of it.
10 steps.
Is that these are some subsect of witches, and they have their own idea of the Force. Sure.
Yes.
Don't introduce that as a new way of explaining the Force.
Why?
The Force surrounds us. It binds us together.
He's so stuck on what he's been told by a preacher. Jedis are priests. They're preaching. They're indoctrinating people into the Jedi religion. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like, it's very hard for people to get outside how they grew up and how they were taught.
Well, it's not just Star Wars fans. You have it with DC and Marvel. Batman can't do this. Superman can't do this. Spider-Man's not like this. They're fanatics for a reason about this.
But that's why I love it so much, is that it expands it, and I want to hear different points of view on how this stuff works, the Force and how things are created, and what you can do. What do you mean? They're also warriors.
Warrior priests.
Yes. I mean, I don't say
their
I'm not
teachings
I'm
across
not
the.
saying that they're not like soldiers or warriors, Chris, but they're definitely priests too. You know, it's a religion. They're like elders in the religion, right? Religious elders in a council. Jedi
I'm a
council.
bit. It won't be Star Wars talk every week. Trust me.
All right, let's see.
Midichlorians exist. They are in every single one of our cells. Well, in Star Wars. Here I am getting too literal. Explaining the Force as a thread that you can pluck and pull on. I'd
different
really
theory.
love for them to divulge into that because it doesn't really make all that much sense. And that's just not how the Force works. We have about 40 to 50 years of how the Force works explained by George Lucas, and it takes one
And that-
episode of a $180 million project created by someone who is so far from understanding.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to pause it. To expand it. This is something that doesn't. I'm tired of Star Wars getting smaller and smaller. It's a galaxy. This expands it. I want to see more different points of view of how this thing works.
I'm not usually that guy about books and the canon, and Marvel and Lucasfilms for the last 3 years have been putting out High Republic books to get to this point of us seeing the Acolyte and expanding the universe of Star Wars to casual fans, to the general public, like you said. Look, things change, lore changes.
No, yeah, LOL, we're taking your kids. That is creepy.
It is creepy.
It is creepy, and I'm telling you, grooming could be different things than what you would where your mind initially goes. They're grooming them into the Jedi religion. They're saying you're Force sensitive, you have to follow us. They go to people's parents. That is very creepy. And the reason it hasn't been as creepy before to people is because the main time you saw that is Anakin and his mother, and his mother was not in a good spot, right?
No.
His mother basically couldn't
take care of him on her own. And
she wanted
slaves. They were slaves.
Yes, but in this situation is completely different. And I think that's very eye-opening as well. Do you really think, even if you didn't see this, that the Jedi only took people in situations like Anakin's? I do understand that it's kind of weird that they wanted to take her so bad, whereas Anakin, they were like, he's too old. That was kind of odd. It's only okay because it's written that way. I'm saying, even if they didn't write it, how do you think all those younglings got there, Chris? Do you think that was all 100% like every single one of them? They didn't go to their parents like you had your child is force sensitive? I don't know. Okay. It's a recent style of storytelling. Okay. I want to know how all those younglings got there. I don't know for sure, situations like this. Okay, let's keep going because we want to cover other topics too.
It's just not how the Force works. We have about 40 to 50 years of how the Force works explained by George Lucas, and it takes one episode of a $180 million project created by someone who is so far from understanding.
I have to pause there because that's great. In X-Men, the children that Professor X takes on most of the time,
runaways,
or the families were rejecting them, or
they had the permission of the family. There was sometimes that the family said no, and he just walked away. So it's not like
the only time that I saw, at least I know of, that Professor X kind of pushed the issue is on Jean Grey, because she was so powerful. He saw what was possible. And then he did some things that they've also explored in comics and on screen that were detrimental to Jean and becoming the Dark Phoenix. And they also questioned if Professor X, just like they questioned the Jedi. Chris, that's on point. There's a lot of parallels between the Jedi and Professor X and the X-Men.
And I will say this, Professor,
and in story and in the comics and stuff, they say Xavier may have been wrong with the way he handled Jean, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Professor X has done some underhanded crap. It makes Magneto what Magneto does like he's a Boy Scout.
I can
Professor
instantly see the parallels between like Anakin and Jean Grey, and how Jean Grey became Dark Phoenix and Anakin became Darth Vader. There's a lot of parallels there, and the Jedi Order and Xavier.
Well,
I see
Phoenix is a
that's a
little
great
different.
comparison.
It's a little different because
Yeah, but there's a lot of similarities too.
maybe in the Fox universe, but in the comic books, it's not.
So
It doesn't go down that way.
So Xavier blocked off part of Jean Grey's mind, and the Jedi Council told Anakin to not dwell on his family. You know, similar, not exactly the same way they did it, but it's different. You know, I think there's a lot of parallels there. Okay. I don't know. We don't want to watch the whole. We'll watch till 3 minutes.
Understanding
Okay?
what Star Wars is, to try and explain to us what the Force now is. Please give me a break. I understand you want to put your stamp of your name on Star Wars and all that, but if you haven't learned from Rian Johnson, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. This is you're just going to piss a lot of people off. And don't take my words for it. In the coming days, we're going to see reviews that will be explaining 10 million times more eloquently than I ever could by so many people, so many fans, about how this is just a ridiculous episode in so many different ways. The fire, for example, the fire on a brick wall, the whole goddamn mountain burns down from one lantern? No, please. The Jedi don't really care to go and stop every child who has the Force, potentially, let alone would they go to a coven of witches, let alone would they go to children who are what? How old are these kids? 8? 9? The same age as Anakin, who was literally the chosen one, and the entire council forbade his training. Yet, the only reason he was trained is because...
Well, I will say this. We'll end there. I will say this. At the beginning of episode 1, after watching episode 3 and then going back to episode 1, Saul was there spying on it. So Saul, and they said Saul is a character from the actor that's crafted after Qui-Gon, and maybe more so than even the actor. The writers are probably, I think, drawing from Qui-Gon. What was Qui-Gon doing? He was trying to find the one. He was trying to find really powerful Force users. In this situation is maybe why in the Phantom Menace that the Jedi Council is saying, no, he's too old and so adamant. So it actually strengthens episode 1. You don't know that this is why the Jedi Council is so stringent in the future. Like they're saying a lot of people's issues are that this is inconsistent with what the council did to Anakin when they were trying to take up his training, right? How do you know this story didn't influence their decision making? I mean, do you see what I'm saying, Bruce?
Yeah. And I believe in the extended universe. The Jedi intimidated, coerced, or made it seem like they were the only ones that can help these children. So there is a history of it in the extended universe. So there is a basis for them doing this in the show. Mm-hmm. Just wanted to let people know that.
So we'll put the I'll put the full Star Wars. We don't need to see the whole thing. He had some interesting points, and then we'll wrap it up there, and then we'll cover what you want to cover. Is you wanted to cover the Brie Larson. If you have an image, if you could get that ready. I don't know if you have an image ready.
Sure, I probably have it.
And I'll answer what Chris is saying here.
Wait, me being prepared? No,
if anyone does have any additional questions, we will try to handle in the chat. I know times are tighter right now. If anyone would like to send even a small super chat, super sticker, it's not required, but it is greatly appreciated. And we can go into a little bit of overtime in the power hour if we need to. Not required, but really helps the show and the production of the show and us to reach greater heights, which we are going to. I'm very confident in a lot of what we're doing here. Okay, so let me handle what Chris is saying here. All I'm saying is I haven't seen Jedi snatching up kids without permission, they still got the permission and they just imposed the permission on. Yes, that is something that we haven't seen before.
Not in movies.
Yeah,
and in shows.
Yeah, but
we're not saying that they're snatching kids in the night. They're they're intimidating parents or people to.
I want everyone to be aware of that. We do not know all the points of view yet. We haven't seen the Jedi's point of view. We're still seeing it from the child's point of view.
Yeah.
So
it may not have played out that way.
If what you're seeing the Jedi say is, which were completely being dishonest, is we just happened to be on this planet. We weren't stalking it with Saul in the woods. And there may be a very good reason that this isn't just some random that they're looking at. They may know more was done. The Jedi might actually have a clue in this one and not like the Phantom Menace and actually know that there was something fishy with these twins of how they were created. And that's why they're so stuck on it. Saul obviously did some investigating here. There's a reason the Jedi are there. And the only point of view that they have delivered to the audience so far is, I keep forgetting her name, Osha's point of view. We are only seeing Osha's point of view now. We are not getting the whole backstory from the Jedi of why they were there. I think there's a lot more to why the Jedi were there, and instead of just, it's new. Okay. And El Necron, the first Power Hour super sticker.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, El Necron. Really appreciate the support. Really appreciate it.
Isaac said he had a question. If you can answer his question.
Okay. Let me see. Is this the one? Still hate how the Jedi treat Ahsoka in that episode in Clone Wars. That's why she left the Jedi Order. Let me see. I don't know where your question is. Type it again.
We type it.
Oh, is it this one? That's what we're going to get to next.
Oh, okay.
That why is Brie Larson in the thumbnail, Max? What does she have to do with Star Wars? And that's great because I'll put Bruce at the head of this one.
Well, we were watching Acolyte last night on our watch party and discussing it. And while we were doing that, I was looking at Twitter and I came across this. Brie Larson will make a perfect of our Chris. And I was like, wow, that's casting is perfect for me.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't have a problem with Brie Larson. I really like Brie Larson's acting.
She said she wants to be in Star Wars, but I can already hear it. She ruined Marvel and she's going to ruin Star Wars, but they say it's already ruined. So why don't you care?
Yeah, I know. I really think that Captain Marvel, I think a lot of people have soured on her as Captain Marvel. Why not give us a fresh start as a Val Chris from the High Republic to join when they start doing more? I
like certain Jedi in the Jedi Council in the prequel trilogy, like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, Yoda and Mace Windu, but they make so many mistakes. I actually really like the High Republic Jedi that they show. This is the first time they're on screen, right?
Yes.
So I actually really am on board, and I haven't read the High Republic. So this is I like the way the robes look. They look different. It's not completely different, but it's more regal.
Yep.
I like the way it looks. I think she would be perfect for this character. All I know about the character is her character design of our Chris. She has triggered people when she put her elbow on C-3PO or when she went to Star Wars Galaxy and was in a robe and say, I'm thinking Star Wars. I love that type. Talk about power. I've never seen someone be triggered so much by taking a picture in cosplay. That was great.
We're not going to take joy in the hardships of others' backs and their
no, I'm not laughing. I'm appreciating the power she has on social media. I want that kind of power to trigger fools in like a moment. Like if I pose by next to C-3PO, no one's going to care. I'm thinking Star Wars. No, that's amazing. That means you should probably do it if that many people have reaction.
But
honestly,
I think what are Star Wars fans always saying? They want actors, producers, directors to be a fan of these shows, a fan of this franchise, a fan of the Force, a fan of this, a fan of that. And what is she? A fan.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So,
I did start a poll on my channel. And Bruce, if you ever want to do these during the Power Hour, be sure to have your channel up too. I put up a poll: should Brie Larson be cast as Avar Kriss in Star Wars?
nice.
Oh wow! And we're getting some support for the Power Hour already. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
I love this idea. I can't think of anyone better because she's a big star right now, and she kind of needs another role. Like she's been in stuff before. She's on some Apple Plus shows and stuff. But another mainstream project, I think this would be perfect for her. Chris, the Gen X Jedi, $4.99. Thank you for the support, Chris. It's great TV and has a nice mystery, but it's not traditional Star Wars. I think you're being very fair here, Chris. Thank you for supporting the show. I see that you're saying it's good, but it's definitely challenging the traditions. But that's what I would say we have to expand it somewhere, Chris. That's where my point of view is. Like, we know how Star Wars has gone up to this point. This is finally something that expands it instead of making it smaller. In my opinion, the sequel trilogy does a lot of making the world smaller, not enough new things, new ideas. It's just very similar to me, except the twin dyad thing, which I didn't like, but actually, I got to be real. This is making me want to rewatch Rise of Skywalker.
I want to watch all three of them. I know it's not traditional Star Wars, but this is, I think, will give an idea of the evolution of the Jedi from then till now, of how things were handled differently, how they were treated, and who knows, maybe after what happened, because I know there's a great war that happens between sometime in this period, and maybe that war made the Jedi Council change the way they handle things and do things, But their arrogance still led to their downfall.
Yeah.
We have another one.
Yes. So definitely, and get your thoughts in on Brie Larson too. I'm going to show the poll in a second at the end of this. We're probably going to clip this out as a segment for our channels. And I'm going to clip this out of what at least our audiences think of, should Brie Larson be cast as Avar Kriss? Do you know the character? Do you care? I think it would be a great fit. So Cal, thank you, Cal. I'm going to go get some Pabst Blue Ribbon. I really am going to get some Pabst. I need some beer. I haven't had a Pabst Blue Ribbon in it's probably been like 20 years since I tried one. So I want to give it another shot. Max, I do like your style. You try to look after your family, even though I think you irritate your mama. What? Yes, irritate my mama or Mama Bear, do you mean?
We have seen you not pick up the phone for your mother.
Oh,
just saying.
Listen,
Max. Come
if
on.
I answered every call, I love my mother. If I can't answer every call that she has, I would never get anything else done. So I call her back right away. That's a good son. A bad son is one that doesn't call back. But how many times, Bruce, have I said I have to leave the backstage of the StreamYard? I'm going to call my mother before it gets later. How many times?
4 or 5.
Yeah. So I call her back. I call her back. I don't.
He does call her back.
Yeah. Bad kids don't call back. I call back and I'm like, "What, Mom? What do we need to do? What can I help with tomorrow?" It's usually an errand for the next day. I'm just letting you know. That's usually what's gone. Keep making the tape hunters BS. What's up, Bruce? What's up with you?
I don't know. We're starting a new show. Hopefully this goes well. That's what's up.
Let me see. We'll get Chris's hot takes started here. And I'm indifferent. Dial is here. Hey, Dial. I can't.
Dial.
Yeah, I gotta make, now that you're back in town, probably next week. I would like. Oh no, we did the one-on-one. What am I singing? I got to get some other people on there, but go support Dial and his consistent endeavors with reviews, and I can't wait to collab with you again, Dial. I'm sure we could get him on this show, hopefully, if you're available during the daytime, for sure. Okay, let's get Chris, and then we'll get the results of the poll of whether Brie Larson would make a perfect fit for Avar Kriss. And do you know this character, Bruce? Have you read her in the High Republic?
Yeah, she is probably known best for she's called the Hero Hetzel. She helped win I forgot what war it was, but she's a master.
Does she
single-handedly saved millions of lives during the Great War, I believe.
Is there another Jedi that you could keep that image up? Is there another image that is there another Jedi that you could compare her close to? Like, is she sticks to the rules completely, or does she stray a little bit like Qui-Gon or Ahsoka or
She's
Anakin?
More of a traditional stuff, Jedi, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Hot take: the Jedi are the policemen of the galaxy, and they're being portrayed as bad cops. It's a social commentary through art about police corruption and brutality. Okay, I could see that too. Let me see. I will get Senior Nerd 101. I'm guessing on the spelling.
I like you, Cheeseman.
Yeah. This person says Brie would never save millions of lives. She is evil. Well, some would say the Jedi are evil from a certain point of view. Okay, let me bring up the poll here to see.
Well, I think to Chris's point, they're showing that the Jedi aren't without sin, without being corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have absolute power, this has to be some corruption.
I'll read your comments. Sorry, DL. I'm indifferent about Brie Larson being cast. Depends on how her character is portrayed. I'm warming up to her, but she needs to actually try.
Woo! She hasn't been trying all this time.
Okay. So the poll so far is pretty much split. 57% say yes, 43%. It's close.
Oh, it's 7 votes.
Yeah. It's pretty close. Closer than I would think. So there you go. Some people. Who are those two great guys on that other stream there that we're looking at? Inception. Only 10 likes. Come on, get those likes up there, everyone, for the Power Hour, taking on Movie Talk to be the best damn movie talk in the galaxy, or in any galaxy. That's a little shade towards John Campea. So he's the best movie talk.
Then Joe said earlier, you guys are taking on Campea?
Yeah, exactly.
Taking on Campea.
That was my goal. I fully intend to take on the camper.
You
know why I used to call him the camper?
Why?
I said his success is because he camps on the YouTube for his success. Like he's always releasing videos, clips out. He's clogging the algorithm. He's a camper. He's camping. Now you got some competition, Campea and Robert My Burnett. Okay.
Did you see the Anthony Starr quote or earlier?
If you have the video clip or anything, that could be our final topic.
Yes,
unless we have. If anyone has some bonus topics, say bonus time, put them in there. We'll try to accommodate if we can.
Okay. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Yo. Got sound
to see what happens around any notion of superhero fatigue when James Gunn's superhero things come out, because
we get it. You want to work for James Gunn. You want to need.
What happens around any notion of superhero?
Pause it for here a second.
Superhero.
We get it. Your showrunner just announced that season 5 is the last season of The Boys, and you want a new job. We get it. We get it. You don't actually like James Gunn's. You're just kissing his butt for your next paycheck. No, I'm just kidding. I actually think he likes James Gunn, but he is asking for work here. This is definitely a power play.
Things come out because I don't think the audience is fatigued. Let me put it that way. I think the audience is hungry. We were just down in Mexico doing a CCXP down there,
they love it.
And they are hungry as hell for superhero content. So I think it's easy to start saying it's the superhero fatigue or whatever. I think people just want fresh story and fresh ideas and fresh stories.
It's about the storytelling.
And because of the nature of our show being an inverted universe, we're not slaves to the same masters. We're not bound to the same moral true north that standard superhero things are. So we have no boundaries.
Yeah, you don't have any boundaries.
No, you don't. I wish you did. I've been playing Mortal Kombat, and every fatality is him like licking the milk bottle. Like, I'm like, come on, I'm sick of seeing that.
It's so weird seeing him out of character and not being an asshole.
Well, he's had some controversy himself as well behind the scenes. I've heard. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I know he's just recently pissed off a lot of people by saying that you shouldn't worship or look up to Homelander. That's just weird, he said.
Oh, there's a cult of Homelander out there? Like there's a Yord?
Yeah, he gets a lot of creepy messages, he says.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure he does get creepy messages based on what he does. Listen, besides superpowers, there's a lot of kinks that are explored in The Boys for sure.
A lot.
I'm sorry. I'm not kink
a lot of kinks.
I'm saying there's a lot of kinky stuff in there. And the thing is that the thing that bothers me is when it's combined with violence. I'm like, ugh, like hardcore violence. So I would never actually. What's this actor's name again?
Anthony Starr.
Anthony Starr. If there was any celebrity to keep this image, if there's any celebrity inbox or mailbag or whatever, he is probably the worst I can imagine because of his character he portrays. And he may be can he escape the typecasting of Homelander? I don't know.
Well, and he's getting fans that probably agree with Homelander, which is kind of
yeah.
Not a good guy to be agreeing with.
Oh, I do have if we want, I have two more real quick topics we could talk about.
Go right ahead.
All right. So this is about the Crow reboot. I've been trying to keep an open mind. I know also Chris loves The Crow. I have it on VHS.
Damn you, Chris.
Okay. So unfortunately, we are now getting reports that The Crow, formerly attached screenwriter, describes new film as horrible and unwatchable. Keep in mind, with context, this is a former screenwriter that who's no longer attached to the project. I don't know if he was writing The Crow now or he was writing the original Crow. I guess we'll find out in the article.
So guy fired from project, now shits on project.
Yes, that is context that should be considered, right? When we do articles and commentary on the Power Hour, we want to consider the context. This could be potentially a disgruntled employee. Cliff Dorfman, who was attached to The Crow as a screenwriter, has seen the new adaptation, is not a fan. No kidding, you are no longer on the project. Dorfman has since removed his post from X because he probably doesn't want litigation. Yeah, because here's some more context for you. When you work on a project, usually, not all the time, screenwriter process, and you get paid and you accept the funds from that, and they move on from you, sometimes you still get screenwrite credits passed on because it was an iteration of that project. So he could be liable too if he dogs the project. He doesn't want to be pursued legally.
He could have signed an NDA.
Yeah, right. So he probably accepted funds and probably has his story is in this new version too, and they may have worked off a guideline that he presented or a treatment. They may have revised his treatment. And that's unfortunately another thing that's happens in Hollywood. For some reason, I think they just keep revising so they don't have to pay someone a full thing. They did the whole script from start to finish, and we use that 100%. So there's some weird stuff that happens with treatments of scripts and how many hands it touches. But let me see what he says here. If hypothetically one happened to see a screening of the Crow movie, The Crow, which Lionsgate is releasing in August, one might say it's horrible. Oh, see what he's doing? He's trying to say not him. He's saying someone might say that it's unwatchable. Don't waste your money. Or I can't
people
believe someone
said,
worse than the
they
original.
said,
Yeah, I don't like the way he's
that.
doing here.
No, I don't. People do that.
I honestly, it very well could be that, but you could be just a salty person, and unfortunately, you're also throwing your previous coworkers under the bus too. Like, there's still people that worked on this. Very uncool.
And if it comes out and it's a hit and people love it and it's received critically and by the audience, he's gonna look like a salty bitch.
Yeah. So I don't like that he was let go or anything like that, but doing this, why would you throw the whole project under the bus just because,
Yeah.
So it's not cool.
Don't burn the house down on your way out.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's
you might
very,
need that
very,
house. Might
very,
need to go back to that
very
house
common that houses are burnt down and bridges burned. I'm just saying.
Oh, God. Gotta go.
No. Okay. This just describes the movie. Eric, Bill Skarsgård, and Shelley, FKA Twigs, are brutally murdered when the demons of her dark past catch up with them. Given the chance to save his true love by sacrificing himself, Eric sets out to seek merciless revenge on their killers, traversing the worlds of the living and the dead to put the wrong things right. So that everyone's just going to run with the story that it's horrible and unwatchable. Unfortunately, there's no the internet does not reward context. I would still, I really want a Blizzard now for some reason. Ultimate Cookie Blizzard.
Oh, jeez.
I love Blizzards. Who's up for, if you like Blizzards and Dairy Queen, thumbs up the video and put in the chat. Beltree says, I'm going to wait for VOD anyways. And let's see what, I know that we have huge Crow fans in the chat with El Necron and Chris.
Yep.
Have they been together on a stream before yet?
No.
I think they would like that. I think that'd be cool. Crow reboot was always going to get hate no matter what. The way shit is happening with Star Wars, it's the same with the Crow because of how beloved Brandon was. Some will reject it automatically, for sure. I'm trying to keep an open mind. I'm still cautious about this project though altogether. I have a lot of concerns, but you know what? It doesn't erase the first Crow. So there you go. Any thoughts on the Crow? Are you still looking forward to it? Do you take any stake in this former worker?
I'm not a huge Crow fan, but I like the movie. I'm gonna watch the reboot. Like I said in previous streams, I know it was a hot take that if Brandon Lee hadn't died, the Crow wouldn't have been as successful as it was. That's just my.
Well, I would say the same thing with The Dark Knight and Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Even though I think both are amazing movies, some of my favorite movies, but the impact of as much as humans like to say it's sad for tragedy, they reward tragedy and controversy with money. Money is thrown at projects like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
When a musician dies, their whole catalog, that's the best marketing ever, unfortunately, when someone passes. And I hate that. Even back in the day with like famous artists, in the history of classic art, paintings, when does the painting become so valuable is when the artist dies, right?
Yeah.
So that's just the same thing. It's unfortunate.
It's just like people watching murder porn on these
porn.
they love to see how people are killed, to solve these murders, and it's just people being people.
It's the saddest. I love art and entertainment, but it's the saddest thing that the biggest accolades you get is when honestly, if you live what do they say about dying young? The good ones die young or something. I don't know. Or they burn out fast. Better to burn out fast than fade away. If you just fade away of old age, you're not as rewarded as if you go younger, unfortunately. You know, I forget. I'm really effing up the saying. Better to burn out like a star than fade away or something. I forget. But yeah, that's my thoughts on The Crow. I'm just underwhelmed by Bill Skarsgård altogether. Me personally, like that Boy Kills World project, I was all for it when I saw the images, but when I saw the trailer, I was like, I'll wait. And this project looks better than that one, but better to burn out than fade away. Yes, and it rewards monetarily for your art as well. Yeah. Quote that Def Lepp, Max. Brandon was going to be Anthony Peltry was going to become a star regardless, but those circumstances were lightning in a bottle, especially the subject matter of the movie was dark. That also was a reason too. I think, you know, that added to the mystique of The Crow, that because the actual character is killed too and comes back, that made it more intriguing and dark. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and the Heath Ledger too. When I saw, no one's going to believe me on this, but when I saw the first image back when there were magazines out for Dark Knight, and back when people said they didn't want Heath Ledger as the Crow, or Heath Ledger as the Joker, and there's actually scenes that are very similar in the Dark Knight from the Joker scenes when he's dealing with the henchmen that are very similar to the Crow. When I saw that, I got like a not like a premonition, but I was like, oh my, this looks dark, and I'm concerned about Heath because it looked like he was that much in the, you know, in the character. You could tell when someone's playing the character and then they're in it. You know what I mean? When I saw the first images on a magazine of like Pop Culture Magazine or Movie News, and I saw Heath Ledger, I remember right where I was at. I was picking up medicine in Rite Aid, and I was looking at the magazines because the prescription wasn't filled yet. And this was before a trailer or anything. I was like, I'm concerned about Heath. This looks really dark because this type of role can envelop you. And I'm not saying that that's what let him go, but he really dived deep into the characters, and ultimately it was rolled an accident or whatever. I'm just saying this whole aura of darkness like takes over. You know what I'm saying? And I could kind of feel it when I watched that performance.
Hello?
Yeah, I could see you now. I can see and hear you now.
Oh crap! My internet went off for like a few seconds.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like when you look at someone when they're in a role, there was more than him just playing the role. There was something that was taking over him within that performance, and it was like dark.
Yeah.
And when I got the first image, I got a horrible, and not a premonition, but I was like, oh, I'm concerned about Heath.
You know,
and I said that to my wife. I'm like, I'm really concerned about Heath Ledger because I was a big Heath Ledger fan, you know? And I'm like, I'm concerned. He looks dark. I mean, he looked cool as the Joker, but it looked like it was over his whole being.
I was a fan of Heath Ledger from Brokeback Mountain. He played a phenomenal role in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it, Max?
Yes, I have. It's been a while, but I did see this. So Voltaire, $4.99 super chat. Thank you for the support, Voltaire. And yes, the Power Hour is a show that we've launched this week officially. And do not forget about the mic drop that I also launched with Voltaire.
Yes.
And I do have some news about that too. We have our first guest confirmed, Voltaire, for tomorrow night. We're doing one more tomorrow night before I leave. I think I have a confirmed guest, Voltaire. So better to burn out than fade away. Hi, ladies. Yeah, we're taking on the Campia, RJ. That's what's happening here. Okay, so that's the end of that one, and I have one more topic. We'll go.
What do you have left, Max? What do you got going on?
I made a short of this. Do your shorts, when you just film it right on your phone directly to YouTube, they have bad audio, or is it just my crappy phone?
I don't know. I have a iPhone 15 Pro Max.
The audio sounds bad. I don't know what to do about it.
My audio.
Okay.
You see, you heard my shorts.
I got to rewatch.
Pretty good.
All right. Well, this is about Gladiator 2. Some images have surfaced of Paul Mescal as the son of I forget her character's name in the first Gladiator. And now, I hope we have I should try to find an image of Paul Mescal as Gladiator too. I don't know if it's going to be in this article, but Russell Crowe talks
Qual?
about
What's a qual?
Russell Crowe talks about being slightly uncomfortable the Gladiator 2 is being made. While Maximus' legacy will live on, the Academy Award winning star of the original Roman epic feels uneasy about a sequel not involving him. Honestly, I like Russell Crowe, but really? Okay.
Well, you know, I'm pretty sure they could find a sheet to put around him. Or toga.
When he was fielding questions, they should be effing paying me for the amount of questions I get asked about the effing film that I'm not even in. He always gets asked about Gladiator 2.
I don't know. I'm just saying his last movie that I saw him in.
He's not the Russell Crowe. I still appreciate him, but he's not like he once was. He was a mega star at this time. You know, his star has faded a little bit.
Yeah, you know, eventually people stop calling.
Yeah. In that world, I'm dead 6 feet under, and that's that. However, he thinks that the movie is bound to be extraordinary. If Ridley has decided to do a second part, he will have really strong reasons. So this article completely spun his words out of context and made it seem like he was extremely negative. He was doing a joke that they should be paying him about how much he's asked about Gladiator 2 and that he's dead. But he actually says if Ridley Scott's doing it, it's going to be good and there's a reason. So I'm glad because I didn't read the article ahead of time.
Yeah.
News. I didn't.
Do you ever read anything ahead of time?
Sometimes.
What?
I've done it sometimes. All right.
I guess.
Ridley has decided to do a second part. We will have strong reasons. I couldn't think of that movie being less than anything absolutely spectacular. He even admitted to a twinge of jealousy over the film as it reminds him of his younger days. So let me now see if I can find an image of Paul Mescal that I had before. I don't know if it's wrapped too.
I'm looking forward to Gladiator 2 actually. I like to see a new take on. I'm a big fan of Roman times and gladiators anyway. So,
Gladiator 2 image. Okay. What?
Someone sent me a picture. I don't know if I should show this. It's a little dig at Star Wars.
Sure, show it at the end. We'll end with that.
But more of a dig at Star Trek.
Okay. What's so cool?
Whoa.
Okay.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just.
I like them both. So whatever. I like the both.
You can like them both. You can have both.
I like a variety. That's all I'm saying.
Star Trek and Star Wars. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Both look good to me. Cal says, heck yeah. All right. So Gladiator 2 set photo reveal Paul Mescal's Lucius for the first time after a bloody battle. Let's see if we could get the image here. Where's the freaking image?
What?
Is that it? Is that there?
Wait, that's
no, there's images I saw. Let me find something else.
Come on, Max.
That's Screen Rant's problem.
Than this. We just started a new show. Come on, Max.
All right, here's the image. I found it on Reddit. Thank you, Reddit. You're more reliable than Screen Rant. Who's that Screen Rant? Is that the guy that wrote the Snyder book? What's his name?
I don't know, but why are you doing that? We have a breaking news.
We do?
Yes.
All right, well, I'll get the clip ready and get it. Yeah, I see it in the background. We'll do breaking news right after this. All right, so here is Paul Mescal on the set of Gladiator. I think he looks great.
He looks frumpy.
Oh, you're kidding me. No, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this project. This is the young boy.
Sucks.
Yeah, this is the young boy in the first Gladiator grown up. So I appreciate that he's got that story going for him. He looks fit. Paul Mescal is also in, I know, at least the Beatles movie.
Russell Crowe.
Oh, Sean O'Connell's for Cinema Blend. You're thinking of Stephen Colbert, who writes for Screen Rant occasionally. Okay. Same thing. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, what's your... I think this looks great. I'm looking forward to... He looks time accurate. Yeah. I think it looks great. But he's also in the Beatles, and I think I've heard his name come up in a few other things. Hollywood is really giving him lots of work right now, Paul Mescal. But in the chat, tell me what you think.
Thank you, Mama Bear. She sent me the same photo. I'm sorry I didn't see it till now.
Okay. Good job, Bruce. I'm just kidding.
I
But
was distracted by Star Trek and Star Wars. Those were some big galaxies.
Yeah. But are you looking forward to Gladiator 2, Bruce?
Yes. I've always loved Gladiator movies, so this is right up my alley of my preferred watching.
I will actually say I'm a huge Joaquin Phoenix fan, but that's probably the weakest part of that movie for me, his portrayal, his character. I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's Joaquin's weakest performance compared to the rest of his films.
Well, he's gotten better over time.
No, yeah, for sure. But even at that time period, he was releasing banger performances. But that was like his most, not like selling out, but his most like, generic role. You know, he didn't really add that much to it. That's when he was young as hell. Seems like yeah. Jacked in the original. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me prepare this here. We do have
breaking news.
Hey. Disney live action Moana's cast Catherine, oh my God, Lagaya in lead role opposite Dwayne Johnson. Filming starts this summer.
Yes, this was awesome. This is awesome. I have no idea who she is.
I have no idea, but I will look her up.
Has the look. Yeah, has the look. Yeah, we do look up her IMDb.
For mispronouncing her last name.
Yeah, it's Catherine Lagaya.
Lagaya, yeah.
I don't know. Lagaya, Lagaya.
What else?
I'm sorry, that was bad. I apologize.
Oh, she's a newcomer.
New. Wow, that's really interesting.
She's from Sydney, Australia. She's 17.
Wait, she's from Australia.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe they want to get. I don't know. She has the look for sure.
Yeah.
Could we see? I hope people aren't being toxic, but can we look in the comment section to get first reactions?
Ugly.
Why?
Oh my God.
I don't know if she's saying ugly. I think she's saying
that's why? Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, hell yeah, great job. But without even looking at the comments, I know someone's going to be calling them out yet again.
Yeah.
For colorism because she's not as dark skinned as Moana.
No one cares. Oh, go down a little bit more. We'll see. No one cares. Don't care.
This cast ain't shaping up to be very diverse right now.
Okay.
I'm not showing offensive comments.
No. So that's the majority of them. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. It just broke a few minutes
All right, we'll go back up to the image. I think she has the look for sure. So I'm excited they're making this movie. What's your thoughts on them even making a live action and doing Moana 2 at the same time?
Well, I've never seen Moana. I've heard it's good. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend since hopefully I can't. Saturday I'm going to a Comic-Con with Sticks. Hopefully I get a chance to watch this soon. But you know, I'm a fan of The Rock anyway, to an extent, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get to some reactions in our chat. You'll be included in the clip out if you put your reactions here. So RJ says there shouldn't be a live action one, more lame money grabbing from Disney. And you know what, RJ? The theaters and the audience reward it. And it's a success. And besides comic book movies, live action remakes are extremely profitable. And you know what else happens when you release a live action remake? The original makes more money and you get a re-release. So that's why I'm fine for it. It actually helps with film preservation and it doesn't erase Moana. People are going to pick up Moana again. There's, you know, and the music of Disney's musicals should not be stuck to that project, because then you have Broadway performances of The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. This gives a lot of work to a lot of talented people, and a lot of talented people that emerged from Hollywood had their start playing a role from a different version, you know.
And don't forget about all the jobs it gives to the crew, catering, the food industry, whatever town or city they're filming in. So saying that movie shouldn't be made or there's no reason for this movie to be made, it's just ignorant to me.
Well, I know that's what a lot of people think.
I know.
That's a lot of opinion. I'm just saying my point of view is that that the audience rewards it.
The audience
provides jobs, and you may get new talent that started their role as playing a version of Moana.
And there hasn't been one that has flopped, really.
And if there isn't already, having a live action version of Moana just makes it more plausible that you're going to get what do you show? Bruce, you're showing your DMs. Bruce!
I forgot that was Jerry.
Hashtag play Bruce. Okay, can you bring it back up the image now, though?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so I wanted to finish my point. Having something was pointing there. Okay,
that was pointing.
Yeah, so our viewership went up.
It did go up.
All right, don't scroll. I'm
Bruce. Not. I'm taking my hands off my mouse.
Please take your hand.
I'll put my hands on my lap.
No, that's what.
Oh no! Right here. On the table.
Okay, so the live action Moana happening makes it even more plausible that there's going to be a musical on Broadway. If there isn't already, I haven't done the research. There probably is, and this is going to provide a lot of jobs to a lot of young, talented people and a lot of people on Broadway, which is an amazing thing.
Yes.
And Broadway does also have original shows, but you know what keeps Broadway going too? Is the big IP musicals, right?
Not all Broadway shows are made into...
No, I know that. I'm saying, but this having consistent projects and content keeps Broadway going.
I don't know if you remember when they attempted to do Spider-Man.
I would love to see that.
That was a disaster. That was so bad. But there's room enough for live action. There's room enough for animation. They both should be respected equally. I love animation. I love live action. You don't have to pick and choose which one you want to see. If you don't like it, don't go watch it. That's all.
Isaac says my top 3 most favorite Disney live action remakes are Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, and The Jungle Book. And the music is so good in Moana. Besides being 3D animated, that's the closest I feel. Moana is one of the closest that I feel like 90s Disney musicals, besides the style of animation.
Yeah.
You're just glad that Pixar isn't joining on this trend yet anyway, Cheeseman. That's a good point, Cheeseman. I do see live action, Bugs Life, Toy Story. No, I'm just going. Those would be the hardest. Those would be hard.
I got a notification. Your likes are now private.
Yeah, I got that on too. RJ says Pixar making a stand and saying they don't want to do live action remakes of their films is the right way to do. I just think it's harder to do. I don't think they have a stand. I think Disney will eventually do some Pixar remakes, live action remakes. But how can you make a Pixar live action remake? Toy Story would be creepy. If you did Toy Story live action, like have toys look like they're real and come to life, that's a horror show. If you have a Bug's Life, that would be boring and weird. If you had Cars, that would be creepy. What other things could you do? Like Inside Out, also kind of creepy.
Well,
the Pixar films
Inside Out was done already.
The one that I think.
Remember Herman's Head?
Okay. Well, let's. Yeah. Let's. Yeah, Brahma Bear. Likes are private. Brucifer's DMs, however.
No, they're not. I got nothing to hide.
Okay, so if there was one, let's finish this out. If there was one Pixar film that you would think would be good for a live action remake, I have one. Wall-E. I think Wall-E would make an interesting live action remake.
That would be. I would watch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Up. I don't know. I was thinking potentially Up, but I would go Wall-E as my top. Do you have any picks recommendation for? Oh yes, that's a good one. Brave would be good. Live
I
action
agree with
remake.
Mama. Brave.
I really think Brave would be. I think that would actually be better than what we have, because Brave I liked, but I think they could have improved on that movie.
Yeah.
It's not like the most favorite Pixar movies. So Brave, Wall-E, Up, Soul remake. Okay. You any suggestions or any of those that you would go with?
There
Bruce?
was a teaser today from Zack Snyder's Twilight of the Gods.
Okay,
Did you
sure.
watch
If you
it?
want to show that,
Let me
Anthony,
take this down first.
yeah. Be careful. Anthony Cheeseman says Incredibles remake. That would be. I would love Incredibles live action.
Well, yeah,
Coco would also
that's
be really
fantastic.
good. RJ, they provide work. If you were in the industry, you'd feel different, you know? DL says, I can't believe what I'm hearing. Well, you know what, DL? Time to prepare hot takes on musical live action remakes starring yours truly. Let's go toe to toe, bro. Let's go toe to toe. And
Did I mute the music? No, you don't need to.
mute the music. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that will get us a copyright for sure. Fritz the cat. Wasn't that a naughty animated thing?
That was a very naughty animation.
Yeah. I will
Damn,
destroy you. He says, I will destroy you. Okay.
All right. Here we go. Like 20 seconds.
The animation looks good. I will honestly say I am anticipating this more than the Rebel Moon Extended, because I want to see more amazing graphics here. I've seen that there's a video game that really looks like that. It's a beat 'em up. I forget what it's called. That really looks like that type of art style, but it looks good.
Yeah,
I think it looks good. Looks way better than Rebel Moon. Now that is what I like in animation. Up would be interesting. Okay, so thank you for joining us for the Power Hour. I do have some things to do. Bruce, what are you working on next? If you want to let people know.
I will be, the next time I will be streaming probably is going to be on Renovision for the weekly top 10. We pick the top 10 best-selling books of the week. We compile a list and we let the common community know. And then after that, we have the Qualify with me, Joe, Dom, and Sticks, where we go over everything that we shouldn't cover on a Friday night. It's a little spicy.
For me, go ahead.
Oh, and for anybody in the Baltimore, Virginia area, in September, me and the guys at Renovision and possibly Max will be attending Baltimore Comic-Con. So that would be a thing. I'll give you more details about that as the date becomes closer. I love Baltimore. Just gotta watch out for the rats, but it's a great city.
Yeah. Yes, I am. I would really like to go. I have to make sure I can. It sounds awesome, especially with meeting up with the Renovision. I do want to do that along with Bruce. You may see me for MME Live tonight. I'm going to post the mailbag. I'm going to try to do it. I have to go
you
over.
Take a nap?
No naps.
Really?
I'm trying to get to bed early tonight. I might even exercise today. I have to see how it goes, see how much I get done. No, I do want to take this opportunity. I have my afternoon coffee with my pal. See how this goes. Please support this type of content.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot more content coming out from this channel. And I want to thank you all for watching. And we're going to end it there. Have a good day, everyone.
Have a good day.